Hi everyone, thanks for coming. I'm glad to be here with you today with my friend Jeroen. I'm Nasser Idris. I was born in Jerusalem, in the east part of Jerusalem. I was born and raised there. Until I was a teenager in high school, then moved to the U.S., studied journalism, and also worked there for a while. Came back in 1996 and started working for the American consulate in Jerusalem, which of course, sort of the main issue that we deal with at the consulate is the, as you can imagine, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I have actually on a daily basis the opportunity, and it is a fortunate thing to actually be able to work on this rather sad conflict, but from a point of view where we can help both sides. So at a personal level and for the office I work for, it is a very satisfying and very sort of rather positive experience for me. But of course, and I will talk more about my personal experience being a Palestinian in Jerusalem and dealing with our Israeli neighbors. I'll talk more about that. But I will let you know in advance that whatever I'll be saying is my personal views. I'm not representing any government, not the U.S. government, the Palestinian or the Israeli government. Basically, we are here, two friends, sort of trying to portray to you from a personal level and experience how it is that the conflict is affecting people. I'm sure you guys follow the news, and there are a lot of reports. It's not very hard to find reports about the conflict, but hopefully what we will be talking about something that you don't read in the paper or the press on a daily basis. I'm looking forward to sharing my experience with you.
Thank you. John.
Good evening, and thank you for coming. I would like to thank the U.S. Embassy in Madrid and Casa Sefarad for hosting and organizing this event, which I think is very important. I was a little bit about myself. I was born in Israel, raised in Israel, and I had a typical Israeli upbringing. I served in the army for 7 years in the Israeli army. And then I also worked in the U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv. And later, after I studied in the U.S., I joined the Israeli Foreign Service. But I want to make it clear that I do not represent, I no longer work for the Israeli government. So like Nasser, I just represent my own opinions, not the opinions of not the Israeli or the American government. So about our own personal experience, and I look forward for this opportunity to have an open dialogue and this wonderful new hostess, that this new facility that is beautiful and it's doing a wonderful work, Casa Sefarad. It's especially important for me, and because my family originally came from Spain. I am myself a Sefaradi, which is originally a Jewish Spaniard, and so I think it's a very important event for me and personally as a Sefaradi. Thank you.
Muchas gracias. Yo creo, la palabra es vuestra. Tal vez podríamos iniciar desde un punto de vista de experiencia personal. En tu caso, Joran, tú lo has dicho, eres originario de Melilla, pero eres originario de Israel, pero de padres melillenses. ¿Cómo es la experiencia de un niño de padres españoles, aunque de familia judía, cómo crece en Israel y cómo ha sido tu ejemplo desde ese punto de vista de convivencia en Israel? Cuéntanos.
As said, I was born in Israel and lived in Israel, and there's a joke that says that in Israel or for the Jewish people, whenever you have two people in the room, then you'll have at least 3 different opinions. And it's a joke, but it's also true to a certain extent. But I think it's a great sign of how Israel is an open society. It's a liberal democracy that allows the freedom of speech, allows this debate to go on. And I think it makes us a very strong society and a country that we can have free press, we can have all different kinds of opinions, political opinions, freedom of religion and civil liberties, and still be a democracy. And if you look at the Israeli press, you would find a wide range of opinions that are expressed, just like the Spanish press or the American press, that you can see from the very far left to the very far right, and they all are openly talking and expressing their opinions. And it's one of the very basic foundations of a democracy.
Muy bien, pues entonces aquel que quiera hacer una pregunta la puede hacer en el idioma que, bueno, en el idioma que quiera, no, en árabe y en hebreo, en inglés o español. Adelante.
Tenemos tradicionales. Por ejemplo, no ha hablado de la palabra asentamiento, en el sentido de que un palestino ha matado a una familia. Un asesinato, por supuesto, pero tenía que haber dicho para hacer comprender al público que era un asentamiento ilegal.
I think what needs to be done is to focus a little bit more about areas that have been ignored, which can play an effective and important role toward hopefully the expedited resolution of the conflict.
Hola, buenas tardes. Yo no puedo dejar de preguntar un asunto que ha salido en todos los medios de comunicación hoy y que ayer se llegó a un acuerdo histórico en el Cairo entre las dos organizaciones, entre Al-Fatah y Hamas. Muchos analistas ya están diciendo que incluso este acuerdo puede complicar el proceso de negociación entre Israel y Palestina, puesto que Hamas es un grupo internacionalmente conocido como un grupo terrorista. Y el primer ministro Benjamín Netanyahu ya está diciendo que Palestina tiene que escoger entre la paz con Israel o la paz con Hamas. ¿Qué pensáis vosotros como Israel y palestino sobre este acuerdo?
First of all, it's between the Fatah troops, not Hezbollah, Fatah and Hamas. The short answer, I have a long answer. The short answer is, in the short run, you might be correct. It can be sort of a negative development in this process because the Israeli government has made it clear this is not good. Actually, today I read it was the spokesperson. The U.S. government said that they'll wait and see, because of course the U.S. government, as everyone else, expects of Hamas to sort of recognize, of course, some people say they have to say those 3 conditions, working conditions. But there are indications that, by agreeing to form a unity government, that Hamas almost is accepting the idea of the 2-state solution. They're not going to come out and say it.
The long answer is that we cannot ignore Hamas as a power. The question is which model will it follow. The good scenario is that Hamas would say, we declare a ceasefire, we abandon terrorism, and we want to become a legitimate political party. And that, I think, will allow the peace process to go back on tracks and to be more constructive. But my fear is that they're going to follow the Hezbollah model in Lebanon, in which they maintain their status as a political party, side by side of having a military terrorist wing.
En esta parte de años en que ha estado el gobierno de Assad, he visto que se han incrementado los asentamientos y que se ha incrementado el muro. Luego no ha habido, desde mi punto de vista, un tema de radicales moderados, sino que no se ha cumplido el derecho internacional. No se ha respetado el derecho internacional. No se ha respetado la relación de las Naciones Unidas. Y ese yo creo que es el elemento. Que jamás no firma los 3 puntos que hablaba el compañero Nasser, pero él tampoco cumple los acuerdos internacionales, no reconoce al otro, nunca ha reconocido a Estados Unidos. Sí. Pongámonos en el derecho internacional. Si no hacemos eso, ya Gideón puede escribir lo que escriba, que si la sociedad israelí eso refracta al derecho internacional, no hay nada que hacer. Entonces yo lo que vería necesario es una educación, por supuesto, contra el radicalismo, inútil, pero un tiempo de respeto al derecho internacional. Si no hay una educación al respeto al otro, al derecho internacional, no hay nada que hacer. Yo no lo veo, desde mi punto de vista, en el lado más fuerte. El lado más fuerte para mí sí.
Gracias. Comentarios, comments, please.
I just want to correct your comment. Prime Minister Netanyahu came out and said that in his famous Balian speech, as it's called, he talked about the two-state solution. So I don't think it's a question of whether there will be a Palestinian state or whether Israel thinks that it's going to happen. It's just a question of when. And let me finish, and I'll refer to your comment. It's when and what would be the final details. And as I said, in my opinion, it will be somewhere along the Clinton plan. Everybody knows it. That's the game. That's pretty much what will. The question is how to get there. And I think that you were right. With the support of the international community, with the support of the United States, with the support of the United Nations, the European Union, the two sides, the Israeli and the Palestinians, can get there.
Bien, pues muchísimas gracias, especialmente a los dos. Yo creo que hemos tenido un diálogo franco y constructivo en el que se han tratado muchísimos temas y distintas perspectivas y damos por finalizado este acto en una sala contigua y un recital de poesía. Yo creo que la poesía también es necesaria para llegar a la moderación, con lo cual les animo si quieren unirse a él. Muchísimas gracias.